I tried to get it. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. How we doing? Happy Thursday to you. Hope you're having a good day out there, and welcome to our show. It's called the Closing Beat. It is a quick stock market update show where we go over the stock market, do all kinds of cool things like teach you instead of just saying, hey, you could have done this, or I told you this. I like to teach ahead of time so that you know what you're looking for going forward. We are financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth. Not currently taking new clients, but hopefully we'll get to that soon. We are building out all our own software. Everything that I like to show and share with you, we're trying to just build it here so we don't have to spend money on all this third-party software that everybody else just has, so we're working on that. Also, something unique to us tonight, Thursday nights, Wine and Wealth for clients of Jazz Wealth. Every Thursday night, I try to do a class just to teach you something new. Maybe it's not always something you're interested in, but every Thursday I want you to know that I'm there. I want to teach clients. I want to add that extra value. And so tonight, we're going to focus on some planning stuff, some financial planning in not a boring way. And if you think it's boring, the show is called Wine and Wealth. So you just grab a glass of wine, down it, and it all gets more interesting. And I get a little better looking as well. But we're going to cover some planning things. We'll do some updates that have happened in Nest Egg. So if you're an active user of it, you can see what's going on there. And then, of course, like I'll do as I always do, I'll take questions and everything from there. Research site. If you are not a client of Jazz Wealth and you just want to participate in some of our research, we've got a lot of great things on the site there. It's $13 a month. You can join us. We just did a COVID anniversary post. We're going to be doing a volatility post as well. And so if that's something you want to participate in, you can. No strings attached. You control the membership. If you want to cancel it, you can. If you want to start again, you can. If you want to cancel again, you can. We have no say in that, which is the way I would want it if I was participating in a membership site myself. So no games being played there. As far as the stock market goes here today, look off to the right-hand side of your page. You can see the stock market is, a little bit higher today, and it wasn't like that all day. Actually, the market started off sort of flat to lower, and then we sold off, and we recovered all the losses there. We'll, of course, cover that, but I'll start by going through the different indices so we can take a look. We've got, hey, by the way, actually, let's go on over to Cody here. Bob left us something. Cody, what do you got?
Oh, Bob brought us some dollars. We got a $25 bill from the Bank of Spain. Can you see that?
Not bad.
Does that look
Not
good?
bad. A little money for the wall of dough.
We got $1 from the Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of cool stuff.
Those are old
ones. We got a
ones.
Lear, British military. I mean, we got a whole bunch of cool dollars that I've never seen in my entire life.
And they're really old too, right?
Yeah, this one's pretty old. That one's pretty neat looking.
Wow. Some of them I have no idea where they even come from. Where's the shilling?
Oh, that's this one. There's your one shilling.
I'll tell you how old this stuff is. We got 1 shilling.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. A lot of cool stuff.
Nice. Only read that. We'd read that in like the history books and stuff. So thank you, Bob, for bringing that by. We do the wall of dough actually in the front office there. We got a bunch of money. The wind blew it all kind of out of crazy, so we have to put it up nicely again. But people occasionally just send us random dollar bills. Nothing pricey. Don't do that. But just something to slap on the wall of dough if you want. You can put your name on it as well. We're building out that wall, and so cool. Thank you so much for giving us that. We will. I like them because they're old. I like the old stuff. Let's look at the stock market here today. I'll start with the S&P because the S&P up 4.5% year to date, and I think this is really a moment in time. So something maybe interesting about to happen, and here's why I come to that. So if you look at the stock market, in particular the S&P, we've got a new high, nice little pullback, a decent new high that broke the prior one, not too bad, then it pulls back, and then we just barely make a new high here. Right, so the steam is running out. In other words, when we run to new highs, it's being celebrated less and less and less. So now we've just reversed course and come all the way back to new highs, but we weren't unable to get anything done. It wasn't all that exciting before this little tiny pullback so far. So if the market is truly going to give us a temporary low here, in my opinion, we have to get above that prior high and continue it strong, right? It needs to be a good rally there. We're just not seeing that. So it's kind of, another way to say it is kind of like a rounding pattern in the market. Rounding rounding patterns on the bottom or the top are always a bad thing there from a technical perspective. And I just kind of think that's what we're working on here. We have decent volume, so that's our savior right there, is that people are still actively wanting to participate on the rallies. It's just they're not getting as much juice out of the rallies, and eventually people get frustrated by that and say, well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit back and wait for my discount. When that happens, unfortunately, you usually do get that discount. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the S&P reversing course from all the losses on the day, going positive. If we go over to the Russell 2000, you've got a nice reversal after a sharp pullback there. I could argue the same thing here, where we broke to new highs, you get a couple days of excitement, then it pulls back. We break back to new highs, couple days of excitement, then it pulls back again. This low right here, although in our office trades, you know, I'm sort of scalping it or playing this as a temporary bounce, but you really want to see this get going to make new highs and get back into this steady kind of uptrend that we saw before. We're not seeing that. Volatility at highs is not a good thing if you're a bull. That's one of those things I like to point out there. But the Russell 2000 is still up 10% year to date for the longer term investors. So you're not complaining there. It was the best performer here today. And if I look through a few of the stocks, I'll just do it briefly here. GameStop, I don't know what you guys are doing there. It's fun to watch, but come on. $183, up 52% on the day. I hope you're having fun. 21% on AMC, the quick reversal there. And so that's one that you got, obviously a big gainer in the Russell. Movado, they make the watches that have nothing on them. They just have a little dot at the top that has a crystal. Anybody know? I used to work at when I was a little one, when I was a little jazz, I used to work at a tuxedo shop. I would rent the tuxedos out, and everybody had the Movado watches for some reason. So it's like, if you don't know, it's like solid. There's nothing in there. There's no numbers or anything. So if you can't tell time, you're kind of out of luck. And then it has a little diamond or something at the top. That's it. That's all it is. But anyways, Movado hitting new highs. That's going to be earnings related. Oh, no, it didn't hit new highs, but a great reversal today, up 18%. So in the Russell 2000, that's what you have. Also, you got Penn National, first positive day after being included to the S&P. Also a decent reversal there for those of you that like that sort of thing. I'd like to point out Caesars also. It's its first positive day as an S&P stock, but one of the better performers as far as the small caps go. As I sort through my old list here in the Russell 2000. If we go over to the Dow, there you go. The Dow, actually, I'm going to go up here because you had some interesting things in the Dow. I'll just do it briefly. But as far as performance goes, you got Boeing. Nice reversal on Boeing. We've been talking about that pullback. Are you interested, right? Nice pullback, quick pullback, but something to pay attention to there. And then you had some of the, like American Express, one of the better performers there. Your card issuers, places that you can spend discretionary money. I think Home Depot made new highs ever so slightly there, getting more and more extended. So that kind of stuck out as something interesting there. Disney up 1% on the day. It's nice to see a little reversal right around the 50-day moving average. FYI, your Disney fun fact of the day. I need one. Oh, you know how I told you before, when you go into Magic Kingdom, you go through the tunnel underneath the train station and you see the movie posters. They're trying to tell you that you're about to enter the movies. Well, a fun fact about Disney is when you meet the characters around the parks, they are in their costumes as if you are in the middle of the movie. So, for example, the Little Mermaid would never have legs. You'd never be able to meet the Little Mermaid with legs. Always has the fins there. You'll have Rapunzel, right? Rapunzel's never going to have her hair cut as it plays out in the movie, but it's because you're supposed to be in sort of, stuck in the middle of a movie. That's the whole point of the park there. So kind of an interesting stat for you today. Anyways, that's the Dow. If you look on the downside of the Dow today, you've got Nike. We'll cover that a little bit later, but a pretty sharp move lower for Nike after already being down. So if I could just go real quick, we look at this prior high for those of you that like those discounts. You're looking at just over a 10% drop on Nike, closer to 13% there if you count today's lows. Since this prior high. So we'll cover the news and stuff on that. And also Salesforce.com continues to sell off. We've been talking about that one, how maybe that, maybe has a little bit more room to go if you're waiting to buy that discount there. So hopefully you do that. Also at the bottom, you may notice those coffee cups are up for sale. Our coffee cups, we're selling them like hotcakes, which is good because we got to pay a vet bill for the shop dog, Dizzy. If you don't know, we got a company dog essentially here. Dizzy G is his name. And so go ahead, pick up your phone and call now if you'd like to order no? Call now before supplies run out. But yeah, we could use some coffee cups there to be sold now that we have a vet bill to pay. I should say I have a vet bill to pay. So thank you for buying those. Anyways, looking over to the sector breakdown here today, let's take a look. Financials are the top performing sector of the day, just barely. You had a great grouping of sectors up at the highs. This is the tool. If you go into the, if you're a customer or a research member, go into the dojo. This is there for you. There's a couple other things in there as well. You'll see the financials up here at the top. If you take a look inside the financials, I always like to dig deeper. This would be the page sort of underneath it. Sort by 5-day performance. The numbers are still off there, but that's okay. You can dissect through that. And if we look over the last 5 days, if you're looking for a pullback, you would sort by negative returns. So it'd be like down 8%, and so on. If we look at the 5-day here, what you're going to notice is, of course, you have your Goldman Sachs, right? You got your big financial banks there that did pull back a little bit, and I'll change this chart so you can see. Over here, decent pullback. Which is fine, pulled back with the sector. Nobody has a problem with that. And then also you're going to have some of the other asset managers, investment houses, things like that. Nice pullbacks towards the 50-day moving average. It's a common technical place where people like to start a technical position, right? They have a reason. They've got a floor. They've got some kind of support to choose there. Also, side note, Goldman Sachs, you may have seen, has been in the news because their employees are complaining, their junior employees are complaining about working too many hours. It hurts them, and they don't want to eat at Chick-fil-A because of what the CEO said years ago. And I thought Goldman Sachs' answer was brilliant, right? The people complaining that they had to work too much, they're new hires to the company, and they're like 80 hours a week. This is too much. And Goldman Sachs' answer was basically, some people will work for success. Other people will claim that they're a victim and won't do what it takes. And they basically just said, if you don't like it, get out, right? We're going to stay as the premier sort of banking center that they are. And they just totally picked on their new junior hires. Like, I understand it's a different generation. If you don't want to work for it, go on about yourself. And Credit Suisse actually kind of caved to their junior analysts and junior employees. They gave them a $20,000 bonus. They said, we understand that you're working so hard. Here's a bonus. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm one of those that's like, if you want it, you'll work for it, right? Put in the time. So I thought that was just a fun answer there. Love them or hate them. I know people are sort of biased to, what you think about the big banks, but I just thought it was an awesome answer there. Awesome. We'll go on over to home builders. Let me just take a look at not home builders, basic materials, because I found this one interesting today, and then we'll skip the rest. Basic materials bouncing off almost the 50-day moving average. And the reason I found it interesting is the same names. We talked about this yesterday. Names that stick out. Nucor, Westrock, WRK. These are interesting pullbacks. These are interesting momentum names. You could look through the top performers today and likely find those that have been the top performers and may continue to do so. So let's move on to new highs for the day. Not many, just 10, I believe, right? Yeah, 10 new highs today. Nucor is going to be one of them. Obviously, it's a beast at the moment. It's not a headline stock, but one to take a look at. Lowe's breaking the new highs as well. All of them did. Your Sherwin-Williams, Lowe's, Home Depot, things like that, all did good well on the day. So we already talked about that. Hershey, because we're talking about chocolate. We are now. Hershey making new highs there. I would argue maybe a touch overextended in the short term. If it were to move sideways or pull back, that doesn't mean it's a bad stock. I think it would be well worth it, actually. Cardinal Healthcare, it's one of those longer term breakouts. See how you've got a series of equal highs, but they span over a whole year. So something there where you have to zoom out almost and look at that. But nice breakout on Cardinal Health. A lot of healthcare stocks are looking good as well. So maybe a sector we can start diving into. I like looking through energy and now healthcare. Anthem also in the same space, making new 52-week highs as well. And no new 52-week lows. And it has been some time since I've been able to say that. I think Gilead is still the closest to making new lows. Yeah, it hasn't done anything, actually. So that's that one. Let's go to stocks in the news for the day. There you go. Off to the right-hand side of the page, Nike. Apparently, I got some labor issues over there. Them and H&M. It's just Nike's the public stock to focus on and the bigger company there. So I don't know how that plays out. I don't pretend to know what's going on over there. But obviously, a boycott consideration. So if you don't know, Weibo is China's social media. It's one of theirs. So a lot of people calling to boycott Nike because of forced labor and everything. I don't know if it's true or anything. I know the stock has fallen, and I would think that people in the short term would see that as an opportunity. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. KB Homes reports earnings. KB Homes comes out, beats on earnings by 8 cents. Revenue's a little bit weak. I would call it overall, 50-50. It wasn't a win. It wasn't a loss on earnings there. What I will point out, though, is I got some stats for you. If you were wanting to afford a home, median home price, and you are what they call a non-supervisory worker, you can look the data up there, you would have to work 42.4 hours now in order to cover your monthly minimum payment for your mortgage, assuming you put 20% down. So it's 42.4 hours of your month, a little over 1 week for those that work a real week, that you would have to work to pay for the house. It would take you 2,578 hours to put 20% down on the median home in the United States right now. That's the most hours that one would have to work in order to put 20% down since just before the financial crisis there. It was 2007, actually. A first-time home buyer has to put down less money. You could put down less money. 644 hours to put down 5%. And so if you think about it, if rates are rising even slowly, that could kind of hurt. It means more hours needed to pay these 5%, 10%, 20% down, unless home prices come down. We don't really see much sign of that right now. So that's the struggle. That's maybe the little bit of the tear starting to happen there. And just thought I'd point it out. I don't know if it's interesting to you there, but that's what's going on with that. Restoration Hardware, or RH as they are like to be called now, beats on earnings by 37%, raises guidance. They say everything's good. I don't get it. I'll never get this company as the type of human I am. I like their stuff. I've, of course, seen their stuff. I would not buy anything from their outlet store, which we have one here. I don't get it. I really just don't get how people spend money there. Moving on to something a little bit more in my class here. Olive Garden and other restaurants. Darden Restaurants, based here out of Orlando, actually. Darden Restaurants up 8% on the day. Beats on earnings by 29 cents. They are very optimistic going forward, especially given, based here in Florida, they're seeing a little bit different of a sun shining on the future as other places maybe aren't. But that's what's going on with that one. And Rite Aid, pretty big drop on Rite Aid there, down 20% today because they lowered their entire full year guidance, which is just a fancy way of them saying, Wall Street, you expected us to do this. We don't think we can do that. We're going to be down here somewhere. They just ripped the Band-Aid off, which is funny given what they do there. And they said cold and flu season overall was very weak. Nobody had the flu. I wonder what they had. Sarcastically, he says. All right, over on to some office trades if you care, and then we'll let the stream catch up and see what you guys think about questions. I'll try to answer your questions there. It's a lot of the same from yesterday. We didn't have a lot today. It was one of those days where we kind of just let everything go. Didn't start well, but finished a lot better. Limited brands, that's that Charlie play from yesterday. Charlie is still short limited brands. Not a good day for that one, but not horrible. He's not doing too bad there. Got a slight loss short the $65 calls on limited brands, and we'll hope for that to move a little bit lower going forward. Oops, wrong symbol. There you go. Williams-Sonoma also comes up on the list there. That is, did you get out of that? Got out of that. What happened to it?
Good things.
Made money. Did you make a little bit or a lot? Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you did there. So Williams-Sonoma closed trade for you today. Williams-Sonoma was... Oh, there's all your attempts. So Charlie was trying to get in on Nike and couldn't get it done. It wouldn't fill for some reason. But Williams-Sonoma, he bought back his $190 call, even though today was up a little bit. Looks like he got a little profit there.
It was like right at the start of the day.
Oh, right at the start of the day.
That order yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Closed, and like at 9:31, my order filled.
He says he set the order yesterday, got filled at 9:31. Let's just see what happened there. And it sure did. 9:31 in 1 second. Okay. And by the way, these office trades, our goal is to build it out in the dojo where you can see what's happening. We don't want to be the people that are just like, I sold some option and I made a lot of money. No, we want you to see it. So I was teasing you the other day that I literally did one contract, right? Because I was just trying to play with AMAT, which turns out it's a pain in my butt. But I just did one contract. So for me to say, if that turned out nicely, for me to say, yeah, I made money on AMAT. No. You made a few dollars, right? Because you had one contract. That's what we want to show. We want to be like that kind of transparent, and we're going to be allowed to do that. So we're building that out, which is why we're testing out these office trades with you, just to see what sticks. What do you like? What scares you? Things like that. I still have my sort of that pairs trade-ish kind of thing going on growth versus value. Still profitable, a little less profitable today. And if we look to see why, let's see what happened today. Yeah, just not a lot of a spread there. So I'm still working on that one. I'm still going to hold it just because I did a whole class on that, and I want to continue to expand on what the reasoning is and show that in real time. So that's what's going on there. Crown Castle, I think, is still moving. No, actually, Crown Castle pulled back a little bit for you. There you go. So, are you done with it? Nope, you still got it there. Short to 170 calls, looking for that to pull back. Today's a quiet day. That adds a few dollars to the pot for Cody, so that's good there. And we just do Diamondback Energy real quick. That would be Cody playing the long side of things, right? Yep. So long on Diamondback Energy, sold the $70 puts there. I think it was a day early. Today was down on Diamondback. I like that location there. Came right down to the 50-day. Notice that thing stopped right there. So if you ever wonder if people use technical indicators to make decisions, there's proof. There's at least one thing to prove right there. Trouble spot, not to pretend like everything's going well. Cody is short Home Depot. They had a great day today, but he's got some room. Short the 305 calls. That was probably the worst position of the day for him. And just like I was dealing with Viacom, man, we got some work to do over there. I still have, I flipped and went long on Viacom. Come on. There we go. And down a little bit today, I'm at the $60 puts, so I've got room to go. Also hoping this 50-day holds us in there, so we will see. Ideally, and what I really think will happen is that it won't just rocket back higher. I have no expectations of that. I think it'll give you this range, 65 to 72-ish, and just sort of wiggle around, let people digest this new price range that it's going to be in going forward there. So let me know what you think. Office trades, does that just bother you that we cover that sort of thing, or do you love it? And then I'll take your questions while the stream's catching up. Tomorrow we've got Carnival Cruise Lines, I believe, with earnings. That'll be the big one. Yeah, Carnival Cruise Lines tomorrow morning. Darden Restaurants, we covered that. That's pretty much it. No real dividends or anything to speak of today, so that's it. Cool, let's see what questions you have and see what we can do. If you pay the $14 a month with you searching, I can play what options you play. Not at the moment. So I want to be, clear and honest with you. Not at the moment. So we will be including that in there. We're going to test it out with clients first because we have a lot of clients that like to trade. Get some feedback, and see what we can change or improve on. The goal is to be able to show each one of us how we're doing, our successes and failures and stuff. And then once we know it works, obviously, if you're paying for it, it needs to work. So then we would roll it out to research members. I'll let you know, of course, and that is the plan. So awesome. If you are a client, then you will get to watch us take a shot and put it all together, first of all. You think financials are going to be the sector to own this year? Yeah, but we should have already kind of known that. So I think it's not the sector to chase right now, in my opinion. Looking like a bottom in Viacom? Well, I hope so. At least somewhere near a bottom. I've got a little bit of room there. I just don't think you see a rally. You don't. It's the whole analogy that I use where the stock just fell out of like a 5-story building. If you fall off your patio, you get up and you're fine, everything's cool. If you fall out of a 5-story building, you're going to be a little bit messed up in the head for a minute. You're going to be bouncing around, maybe not know where you're at. Think of a stock behaving like that. I think that's the personality that we find from here. What do you think of Verizon? The question is, I don't know where we're looking, so you got to give me long-term, short-term, dividend play. What are you doing here? Remember, we're long-term investors. That's our focus. Day to day, we just like to have fun and try to help people learn more. So we do the trades just for fun, and of course we'll continue. But we're primarily long-term investors. So my mindset, when you ask a question like that, I tend to think long-term. So help me out with a little bit of clarity of what you're looking for, Danny. so I can help be more maybe specific. Can you pay for research with the Bitcoin? No. No. Not only that, it would be wrong of me to advise you to do that as a financial advisor, not even your financial advisor. It does not make any sense. It's killing me, guys. I can't wait for someone to raise the same question that has higher visibility than I do. Like, somebody do the math on this. The math's not adding up now. Why hasn't the grounded cargo ship seemed? It has. Yeah, actually yesterday. Oil, though. Oil's the focus, right? So I think it's mostly moved now, or at least out of the way. Remember, that's happening overnight, so that would have already happened. So a little tough to keep track of it, but I believe that is starting to be kind of a distant memory, or hopefully. Yeah, I love it. One last thing. Let me go back over to those semiconductors, because remember I said I was playing that AMAT, and I was just trying to play momentum. I hate that. But lots of pullbacks there today. I don't know if that's such a good thing. So if you look through some of the semiconductors, and I think there's a question on AMD in there, but as you look around, they were trying to show you that they were going to get out of this Christmas tree type trading, green, red. All of a sudden, we got that slam today. Lam Research, AMAT, whatever you want to look at. You go over to NVIDIA even. All of a sudden, it puts itself back into that pattern, which may mean a whole lot of nothing happens here. And you don't want to see that. Or at least I don't want to see that. I love it. I love it. What's wrong with Chinese stocks? I haven't looked over there recently. I saw the pullback if we were looking at like Asher, the A shares. Saw that pullback in there. It is around the world, it is the one sort of country that has pulled back the most here over the last month. So I look at things like that and I'm just never sure, is that something that we should talk about? I mean, we look at Germany. We're always looking all over. I actually have a scan of every single country, how they performed, Russia and everything. I don't know if that's something that's interesting to talk about. You tell me, though. You keep a comfort dog because the market's stressful? No, I keep a comfort towel. Cody's got my towel. He needed it. We have a towel. It says markets recover 100% of the time the markets recover 100% of their losses. Yeah. The dog at this point is not really a stress reliever. At some point, right? But right now, he's a puppy. He'll follow you everywhere. We should make a Dizzy coin. Yeah, that's true. A Dizzy coin, and it won't be a real coin. It'll be an NFT coin, right? So we'll go 2 layers deep, which if you think about how that works, it's not actually like,
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
it's not that, but it's kind of a funny, what do you call that? Pun? Maybe a funny pun? Yep. Cool. How come you don't have the 100-day simple moving average? Not very popular. 20, 50, 200 are still the most popular out there. You could use the 100. I know people like to do that. It's just not as popular. Some commodities is still popular over there. Basically, if you look at commodities, all technical indicators, those people love their indicators, man. Is this a good play to make on Etsy? You started a few days ago. You bought, let me see, you bought the 207.50. There we go. That's a specific question. Sold 215. Okay. Average cost expires next Friday. So you bought an out of the money call spread. This is essentially being long. It's just a shaved version of being long. And so you don't buy out of the money call spreads. Personally, I mean, you've lowered your probability of being successful. You would straddle the current at the money price with your long and short call. That, without going into a whole lesson there, that would be the way to go on a debit type spread there. In my opinion, you're trying to replicate stock essentially, but for some reason you had to sell the call. You wanted less risk or less capital or whatever it happens to be. So in that case, we don't want to take away the same probabilities you would have had with the stock. We want to just replicate that with less capital. So the fact that you went out of the money, you gave yourself less chance of making money on the trade. But by next Friday, you just, essentially you're hoping for a really quick bounce or some news or something. I love it. Okay, I'll wrap it up there, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again, and for clients, we'll see you here in a few hours for Wine and Wealth in the Speakeasy, which has all of a sudden become a cup distribution center, so it's going to require a little bit of cleaning. Thank you to all of you who have bought cups. There are still some left, and yeah, awesome. We'll get it out to you. See you tomorrow.